This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Thrown under the bus.
No. Always live. Always real. Always unpredictable.
You with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Log on and join our live conversation.
I'm in. Tori just won't let it go.
DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Friday, April 12th. We're live and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. I'm here with Brandon and Al. I'm Tori. Sam is on assignment. Hi, guys.
Hey, Tori.
How are you guys doing?
It's Friday, so I'm doing great.
Oh, nice little shimmy. All right, well, guys, winter is nearly here. We are 2 days away from the premiere of the final season of Game of Thrones. And all across the nation, people will gather around their TVs on Sunday to watch in what's expected to be, yes, the biggest TV premiere in history. Here's a peek at what's to come.
They're coming. Our enemy doesn't tire, doesn't stop, doesn't feel.
More than 30 million people in 207 countries have watched, and now the epic show has so many questions left to answer, like, will the mother of dragons complete her quest to sit on the Iron Throne?
Wifey.
Or will she go full Mad Queen? And what if she's pregnant? We all saw Jon Snow's sword left in the snow in this teaser, but does this mean the fan favorite character dies again? Will Cersei live, or does she die at the hands of her brother, Jaime Lannister? What does the Night King want, and can he even be defeated? And what of Khaleesi's dragons? But with so many eyes watching this Sunday, a lot of people are asking, is this the end of an era? And will this mark the end of appointment television forever? There's a great article out on Vulture. I highly recommend it. And they talk about 3 things that brought appointment television to an end. And that is, one is streaming. One is the one season dump, right? The whole season at once.
Right.
And then social media, where everybody talks about it all at once and you're all sort of watching it together. Is this the last appointment television we'll ever see?
I think, unless we're talking about sports, I think so. I mean, there's a reason that, like, you look at these exorbitant salaries that we see in Major League Baseball, and you're like, well, you look in the stands and no one's there. Why do they get paid so much? The advertising money is in sports because it's really the only thing that you can't stream, the only thing that you can't dump. If you miss the game, once you see the score, there's no point. So that's why we see sports getting so much money, and I don't think we're going to see anything like this again.
Yeah, I know everyone wants to blame the Netflix. They want to blame the streamings. But you know what? Commercials are killing TV. When you're watching a football game, millions of commercials. When you're watching a show and you just get into it and it's like, oh my gosh, what just happened? Then they go to some laundry commercial or some Bounty or Liberty, Liberty, Liberty.
Oh, that gets in my head, doesn't it?
It gets me so much.
And also, we pay for the show with commercials, so we love commercials.
I absolutely love commercials,
That's
but
right.
when I'm watching what I want to watch. But also, I think TV has kind of prepared us for this. Just think of the marathons, Fresh Prince Marathon, Law and Order Marathon. The binging. We've kind of been eased into that. And I think that if the older generation, or I don't want to say older as disrespect,
just
but the past generations.
You're saying Al's generation, right?
If you could stream I Love Lucy back in the day, they would have done that as well.
But think about it. I Love Lucy, right? Her baby, or we have the one-armed man from The Fugitive. That was appointment television, and I think this is it. But I don't think there's going to be another one. I don't think there can be.
If they could have stayed at home on a Sunday and watched the one-armed man and Lucy, they would have done that for the entire time.
That segued into Fat Albert.
It sure did. I put Fat Albert's on. All right, speaking of streaming, Disney just dropped all the details for its upcoming video streaming service called Disney Plus. It's starting this November. The streaming service will include much of the well-known Disney content, including Pixar movies like Monsters, Inc., much of the Marvel movies, and also Star Wars. And subscribers can download everything to their devices. That's new. But the big news is all the new content, including series featuring Marvel characters like Scarlet Witch and Hawkeye. And from Star Wars, there's a new series called The Mandalorian. There will also be a high school musical series, so something for everybody, and a live-action remake of Lady and the Tramp. Disney's streaming service will cost, get this, $6.99 a month. Not that bad, or $69.99 per year. Do they have something here?
Yeah, this is the Amazon and Netflix effect. You got to compete. And I think, you know, especially if you have kids, they're going to be all over the place, and you've given them the ability to, first of all, watch whatever they want, but also take that with them.
Yeah.
If anybody has kids, they all know that iPad in the car is a lifesaver.
Yeah.
So being able to throw on a 2-hour Pixar movie while you get to point A to point B is huge.
I was just thinking, like you were saying, as kids, but like as I hashtag Uncle Brandon all the time when I'm with my nieces and nephews, and I don't know. I don't think this is going to. I mean, I can see how this will work for the babysitting and stuff like that, but you have to have great shows. You know, it just can't be. I know they're coming back with Sandlot, but these kids, this new generation, they have no clue who Smalls is. So I think that if this is going to work for Disney, the shows have to be out of this world. Like, and I want to see a live action for Barney. Live action remake for Barney. I think
Barney the dinosaur?
Dinosaur?
Wasn't Barney live?
No, but it's a person in a costume. I want to see like they did with the Lion King, make it into like a live
That
action.
song, talking about songs in your head. I love you, you love me. Let's get to the next story.
I think we're all done. We should never do that.
Yeah, let's never do that. Yeah. Okay. All right, we now have an update to the college admission scandal. New details, of course, about actress Lori Loughlin, who reportedly felt that, quote, she hadn't done anything that any mom wouldn't have done if they had the means to do so. That's according to a People magazine source. Meantime, OG jailer Martha Stewart is speaking out about the scandal for the first time. Here's what she had to say.
Well, I mean, it's just embarrassing for a family to go through what they're going through, and horrifying that it even occurred. It's a sad thing.
Interesting. I can't tell if she's saying it's a sad thing that she's going to jail, or that she got caught, or that she did this in the first place.
Yeah, I look at it's so interesting that now we've had enough older white women go to jail that they're almost like sage and giving advice like, here's how you get top bunk. I don't know what Martha Stewart's trying to say. I just think she's trying to move on, but I think that they can keep looking up to Martha Stewart and see that you can reinvent yourself if you give if you're contrite. And I still feel like Mrs. Loughlin is not contrite yet. Yeah. She's still making excuses. She still is kind of attacking the DA. Her daughter is still acting, has a very let them eat cake mentality. Yeah. And the public is not behind them, and they're not going to be able to reinvent themselves. Like
Lori Loughlin said, I had the means. I still wouldn't break the law and do fake photos and try and cheat on my daughter's SAT scores. Do you agree? She's starting to break. When you just think, when everyone's doing something, that one person get caught. Well, Al was doing the same thing. Well, Tori, you know, if she had the means to do it, she'd do the same thing. She's starting to break. She's getting desperate.
Yeah. Still hasn't apologized.
No, still hasn't. You're right. All right, we have to give a big DBL shout out to
me.
No, not you, Al. It's SpaceX. The private space company successfully launched its Falcon Heavy rocket yesterday evening. It was the company's first commercial mission. This is the most powerful rocket in use in the world. And check this out. A few minutes after liftoff, SpaceX successfully landed all 3 lower booster rockets back on their launch pads. They will be reused for later launches. That's the whole thing.
I'm sorry, Brandon. How is this not a bigger deal? Like, this is huge. We're getting to this in the last 60 seconds of this block. We are living in the future.
Yeah. You can reuse rockets.
I mean, this would be great for air travel. You know, instead of a Boeing 757 or 737, why don't we use something like that? This could probably get us to China faster. And the fact that we can reuse these things is going to be great. Now, SpaceX, they had their first their launch in 2015. We're now in 2019, and look what we're doing. Like you said, this should be a way bigger deal.
And I just want to tell everybody, Brandon is much more adventurous than I. I'm not taking a rocket anywhere.
Why would I take a rocket?
Really? To China?
Okay, no.
How long is that flight to Japan or China? How long is that about?
What do you need to do in China that you need to be there this afternoon?
If you can get there in 15 minutes, you wouldn't go?
No, not on a rocket. Do you know the effects that would have on your body?
I would be.
Have you ever just gotten off of red eye? Do you know what a rocket?
Man, I'd be over there taking selfies with Yao Ming by the end of the day, bro. Like, for real.
I would be throwing up in my helmet.
I'll see you after 2 connections.
DBL is live, and we'll bring you breaking news as soon as it happens. Coming up.
There was kind of a tale of 2 me's.
A Minneapolis journalist became a star when she became herself. I sit down with Janice Shortle for her inspiring story. Guys, you do not want to miss this. And you, the viewer, are our 5th host. The Pentagon's new transgender ban takes effect today. What do you think? Should trans people be banned from the military? We share your comments. They're coming in strong. Coming up next.
DBL Nation, what's going on? Al, just like you said, like that's such a big deal.
I mean, I think we're gonna be. It used to be kind of just sci-fi and just
the rockets,
stuff that quote unquote geeks thought about. But I mean, the idea of space travel in our lifetime, and even not only just for astronauts, but kind of like for recreational, it looks like it's on the horizon in the next 10 years. It looks. I mean, that technology already looks pretty perfected. Right. Put another 10 years on that, and who knows? I mean, if you can go to space for 80 grand. I mean, that's an experience.
I'd go to the moon for 80 grand.
But you wouldn't go now. I think it has to be in like, and I hate to say this, but like 100 years or more when it's like a comfort.
100
I don't think we're not that far.
Yeah, you need comfortable.
We're not that far.
You need the rocket to be comfortable. You can't be in a spacesuit with like just regular pedestrians. You can't do that.
Well, isn't Virgin Space already looking at something like that?
They're trying to make it like more of an airplane mode, but I think it's going to take a while.
Right, but I think that I think that just kind of cracks the atmosphere. It just kind of goes.
Yeah, I don't think you're going anywhere. I think you're just.
Because how high was that guy from Red Bull?
Oh, dude, that was so cool.
He
broke the atmosphere, didn't he?
I think so.
Because he was. You saw? Didn't you see the Earth below?
You can see the Earth below.
We're gonna find out. We'll find his name out. He's an Austrian guy.
Yeah, and then he jumped, and in the middle, he went so far in G-force, he passes out in the middle of the fall. They all knew this. Then the
parachute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna say pelican.
Just call it big blanket.
Why was I gonna say pelican?
Then the big air blanket comes out. Sorry for over your head with this technical talk.
You know what this
pelican.
But you know what this does for me at 34 years old?
The sky duvet.
I look back, like I know you don't want to look back at life and be like, I wish I could have done this. I wish I could have done this. Yeah, I'm glad I got to play football. I was athletic, but I wish I could been like a nerd that like.
You are getting to be a nerd.
Or be
Do you know that
one
you can
of those
still be a
people
nerd?
who can write the algorithm for things or code.
But you can
stuff.
look at you.
I find this so fascinating.
I know, but you're getting there. You're becoming so much more nerd. Are you not reading so much more?
Reading a lot more.
Well, I think you just
He's
find
getting on the nerd side.
It's a lot more interesting, and I mean, if you think about, what football, of course, was a challenge and a passion and probably the first love of your life. But when you watch a football game, it's a football game. It's going to be football in 10 years and 15 years. Yep. I think with the kind of things that we're looking at now, the possibilities are endless. Yeah. And they directly affect our lives. I mean, from this phone, I just ordered some pho. Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah, pho.
I've been sounding like a phone. Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. That controversial transgender ban for the military takes effect today. Supporters say the ban will stop the disruption that they say trans people cause in the service. Others say the ban is cruel and will just force new troops to hide who they really are. So DBL Nation, what do you think? Should trans people be banned from the military? Y'all are writing in like crazy. Let's get to those comments.
All right, I'll kick it off. Right. Barb from Facebook says, this just doesn't add up. Why would we bar people from serving? They're offering to make the ultimate sacrifice, Barb. I think it adds up perfect. I think it adds up perfectly. I mean, it's like they're people that seek to let other people know that they feel like they are less than. Anybody, and as somebody that's done 2 USO tours, I've been to Japan, I've been to Korea, the sacrifice those people are making over there for somebody to say that they can't do that because of who they were born is just, it's the ultimate slap in the face, and it's really disrespectful to this country and those that serve it.
Absolutely. I love that comment,
wow.
Barb. Cole from Facebook says, there are several rules and standards when it comes to enlisting. I feel that all the hormone adjustments required to change gender should be truly considered. It has to impact your ability to make sound decisions and serve our country. Mr. Cole or Miss Cole, I kind of disagree because we're fighting enemies who are high off brown, which is gunpowder and another drug. You're fighting people who feel as though that they want to take you out. They want to take out your whole entire race and nation. But my thing is, if the government came to everyone that's out here in America right now and was like, you have the choice to go over and fight in the war or stay here and live your cozy life. If you don't pick to go fight in the war, you should have no say in who goes over and fights in the war. I don't care what you are, what you identify as.
Well, interesting. A lot of our viewers definitely disagreeing with you guys. That's a lot of the country disagrees. Well, Nancy from Facebook says, this is a major step backwards. The transgender people I've met all have been extremely intelligent and brave. Those are major qualities that make you an asset to our military. I'm going to be a little bit more scientific and legal here. Number one, they did a RAND study. It says they show no discohesion at all from trans people who've already been in the military for 2 years. And when they asked about the money that it would cause, it would be about 22 cents a month, which is a little bit ridiculous to start talking about that. I think it's a setup, and it's also completely unconstitutional. It's sex discrimination. It can't happen, and 4 federal judges have already torn it down. I think it's unconstitutional, and it's not going to stand, and I think our military leaders should speak up. But I know a lot of you guys think differently, and I don't want to be disrespectful, so please write us in so we can have an active, interactive debate.
Yes, but if you're gonna write in and you have a problem with this, are you a veteran? Are you someone who is currently fighting now? I want to hear people who's actually gonna go, who's out there.
And we have a lot of veterans as our DBL Nation viewers, so we would love to hear from you. If you've never written in, today is that day.
Yeah.
All right, coming up on DBL, she helped reinvent TV news and ended up changing the rules for news anchors. You do not want to miss my conversation with the coolest journalist from Minneapolis, Jana Shortle, on what it takes to live your authentic self.
We're live. What's going on, DBL Nation? We just finished the 5th host. You know, we've talked about this for quite some time now. You know, this has been an issue or something, a talking point for America for quite some time. But it's just today is the day that it actually is taken into effect. And you know, when I get like that and I get rowdy when it comes to that, it's because you hear all these people who are always like, oh, you shouldn't do that, you can't do this, you shouldn't do this. Oh no, those people can't do that. But if you're not going to be one of those people who go over and fight, you have no horse in the race. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't get it. Why would you tell someone else they can't go fight and you're not going to go fight?
And it's not even, you know what, it's not even the fighting. It's just being away from your family, which is probably worse than combat. I mean, you know, my children are in Los Angeles. I go back almost every weekend. And just being away from them for 4 or 5 days at a clip is so difficult. You know, when I was doing USO tours and I was in South Korea, I was in Okinawa, I was talking to 2 men and women over there that serve our military that hadn't been home in 11 months, hadn't been home in a year and a half. So the fact that you're going to sit here and tell them how to live their life.
And please, if there's something scientific, those of you who don't like this, if there's something out there that we're missing, please write in and please educate us, talk to us, let's have conversation. That's why you're the 5th host.
Welcome back to DBL. We've got a lot of incredible people in our Tegna family. Journalist Jana Shortle from our sister station in Minneapolis is no different. She's pioneering a new look for women on TV. Earlier, I got to talk to Jana about what it means to be true to yourself. It's one of my favorite interviews I've ever done on today's Spotlight.
David Bowie mattered to a lot of different people for a lot of different ways, not just to the outcast.
Jana Shortle doesn't look like your typical news reporter. It took her years to finally feel comfortable in front of the camera as her true, authentic self. The KARE 11 journalist based in Minneapolis tried hard to conform. She bleached her hair, wore the makeup, and dressed like what you'd expect from an anchor. It wasn't until her show, Breaking the News, went on the air that she debuted her genuine look for viewers. And although she expected a backlash, it never came. And now the openly gay TV host is breaking boundaries just by being herself.
Jana, welcome to Daily Blast Live. You are part of the Tegna family. We are so happy to have you on. Take us back. I want you to describe that battle that was going on in your mind all those years when you were fighting against being your true self. Did you feel like two different people?
I recall something somebody said about me recently, and that there was kind of a tale of two me's. I fell in love with this idea that you could just ask questions of people and get interesting answers, and that kind of blind ambition overshadowed the fact that I didn't learn that women might have to adhere to an unspoken dress code. I didn't really internalize how harmful that was to me until it went on for years and years and years. My friends and loved ones would notice that I looked very different when I wasn't on the air. We all do, right? You know, you're going to wear a sweatsuit on your day off.
Yeah, I'm in a drawstring, sweatpant.
And then when Monday would roll around, you know, I would open that other side of the closet and put on the clothes that I believed were the clothes that I had to wear to be able to be in this industry.
It's interesting for you that closet has two different meanings, right? Coming out of the closet and clothing with closet. How interesting for you. How did you push past that?
Our company decided to start Breaking the News, which was going to be a news show that did things a little bit differently.
Right.
And so when we went off the air, because I was off the air, I was showing up to rehearsals looking like this. And some of the people that were involved in those rehearsals were not from KARE 11. They were producers from other parts of the country.
And they dig it,
And one of those producers, named Stephanie Eno, said to me in the night before the show, I started to get concerned that I was going to have to go back to that other side of the closet. And that was kind of a bummer, because I felt really free to be creative when we were making up this show in my own clothes. And she just very matter-of-factly said, why would you do that?
What advice would you give to your younger self? Give me a sentence as simple as Stephanie gave to you. What would you say to yourself if you could?
At this point in my life, I don't want to rewrite history because my pain is a part of my journey.
Good point.
When I was 14 or 15, I fell in love with this job because I watched SportsCenter for the very first time. It was when SportsCenter was in its infancy. And I said, I want to be that. And it was very plain and just that simple. And I knew it then, and it took almost 30 years for me to get back to my 14-year-old self.
Wow.
But I'm here now.
That's amazing.
Remember why you fell in love with what you wanted to do in the first place.
Wow. So it's almost like your 14-year-old self told your older self what to do. That's an incredible, incredible thing to think. Jana, I'm so proud to have you on Tegna and to be there, and thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. You are my essence of cool. You are my spirit animal. I'll be trying to dress menswear from now on. We'll see you
You're
soon.
amazing. Thank you for all the work you do, and thanks for this opportunity. I appreciate it.
One of my absolute favorite interviews ever.
Yeah.
She was so down to earth and real. She wore a David Bowie shirt the very first day on Breaking the News at KARE 11, and it was because David Bowie had died, and he represented the androgyny, the mixture of playing with makeup and clothes and sort of dress, men's and female wear.
Really, the beginning of the concept of gender fluidity that we kind of have. Where now we have rappers that are gender fluid, and it's accepted, and no one talks about it. So, you know, we have David Bowie to thank that inspired her, and she's going to inspire millions.
That's
so,
right.
Again, can David Bowie have any more of an impact on our society?
I
don't think so.
So good on Jana Shortle, and we're so, so proud. We loved having that interview. Thank you, Jana. If you want to hear more of Jana's powerful message, check out the full interview on our YouTube page. We'll be right back.
Promotional.
Hey everyone, it's Leo and Stu here with the DBL stream team to talk shows we're watching and shows coming up that we're excited about. This week we're watching Shrill on Hulu, starring A.D. Bryant. It's a comedy series about a woman who wants to change her life, but not necessarily change her body. And we're also watching the new Twilight Zone on CBS All Access. This is an updated version of the classic developed by Jordan Peele and hosted by Jordan Peele as well, about various different stories in the science fiction, horror, and mystery genres. Stu, oof, let's talk about Shrill.
Yeah, so this is a really cool show. It's created and starring A.D. Bryant from Saturday Night Live, and she is just kind of delving into a realm that we don't actually talk about ever. And this is kind of a female perspective and an overweight female's perspective in the workplace, in love life. It's everything. And honestly, as a man, this is something I've never really watched before, and so I kind of wanted to give it a try, and I was immediately hooked. It's funny, There's a lot of heart, and honestly, A.D. Bryant crushes it, as the whole cast does. The other thing I want to say is the soundtrack is awesome, and they're highlighting a lot of diverse female directors as well. So you're getting some really cool creative input and kind of a different viewpoint from where to see like a comedy, but also kind of like a heartfelt drama too.
Yeah, and it's kind of got a dry humor thing going on too, and I really like that. Her and the other actors play off each other so well. It's got great energy. Man, it's a good one. Catch it on Hulu, streaming right now. And this other one, ooh, an updated version of the Twilight Zone, guys, hosted by Jordan Peele himself. And wow, this is such a wonderful series. I mean, it brings back that classic vibe. What I really like about this series is it doesn't try to change it. It doesn't necessarily try to go full-on Black Mirror and make everything rated R. No, it just keeps that same energy, that same ambiance and vibe of the original Twilight Zone. It's got the spooky music. It's got great actors this time around. I mean, Kumail Nanjiani was in The Comedian. You had Tracy Morgan in that as well, and then Adam Scott in the next one. I mean, this is such a great series, guys. Catch it on CBS All Access. Welcome back to DBL. Last night, Al and I had the privilege of emceeing the Laugh Yourself Blue Gala benefiting Firefly Autism. Firefly Autism is an organization that provides in-home and clinic-based services to people with autism. Some of the DBL team came out to lend support, and we all had a wonderful night benefiting this important cause. Good news, Firefly raised over $1 million to serve their community and expand their reach.
Good news. That's better than
I know, it's amazing.
Good news is like, oh, there's donuts in the break room. We helped raise $1 million.
Are there?
I don't know.
Okay, I got to find
But no,
out.
it's such a great cause. Brandon, appreciate you coming out.
Thank you.
What did you think about the event?
I mean, I learned a lot. You know, we did a Dr. Ho segment before when it came to a kid with autism, and I learned a lot then. So
interesting.
Absolutely unreal.
And before we go, we do need to give another shout out to one of our makeup artists, Lena. She became a U.S. citizen yesterday. We are so happy for her. Mazel tov, Lena. Mazel tov. We'll see you same time, same place on Monday. Be good to each other.